Hey, it's Matt Roush,
And Mike Brennan.
and we're back with another segment of the M Squared TechCast. And we have with us today Dan Radomski. I always want to say Don. Why is that? Usually it's Mike, the one that messes up names. But
Yeah, that's my job. So
okay, welcome, Dan, from the Centrepolis Accelerator on the campus of Lawrence Technological University, my employer. And virtually alone, there are one or two others around the state, but not many. It is a business accelerator that deals with hardware, with physical product companies, yes, with manufacturers. Here in Michigan, we actually make stuff, and Dan and company help people do that. So Dan, welcome to the show, and wanted to start things off by asking you, it has been a little over a year since the accelerator opened. How did tell us how you progressed over the last year or so?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, Matt, Mike, thanks for having me. And yeah, Centrepolis Accelerator, we had our grand opening of the facility that we now house, which is a co-working space as well as a prototyping center, October of 2019. However, we've been operating as a hardware accelerator for over 3 years now. So we've had the opportunity to work with a lot of companies, both startups as well as established small business, and helping commercialize many new products. We've helped commercialize over 12 products over the last 18 months alone. And this has been anything from, consumer products, medical devices, clean energy related technologies. So, what we're doing is working, and it's really just, not only using what we have in the way of assets here in the facility, but, connecting these companies with really talented people that understand product design, engineering, tooling, prototyping. We've assembled a number of experts and residents, all 30-year, veterans and experts in this area to help individual companies be successful.
let's kind of pursue that line of questioning in the sense of an accelerator is to get a company up and running and get it into commercialization, and maybe after that get it funded. Of those 12 companies you just talked about, have any of them come out of the machine, as it were, with a commercialized product and/or they received funding?
Yeah, so all 12 of those have been officially commercialized products, meaning they're selling them today. So I'll give you an example of one of the companies we worked with, wanted to develop an intelligent fitness machine, portable machine that ultimately will allow you to do any type of exercise you would do in a gym. So we actually help them with their product design, reduce the complexity, help reduce the amount of components, which help reduce cost. We help them with lining up investors, helping them line up manufacturers, and then ultimately now they have over $2 million in sales of their product and are shipping really all over the world. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So you recently had your first inaugural client awards ceremony virtually. So tell us a little bit about the companies that brought home the hardware as your top clients.
Yeah, it's great. So it was an opportunity for us really to recognize many companies that we're supporting, not just the awardees. So we had nominations in a number of categories. Best hardware product commercialized which was the exercise machine that I was referring to, company by the name of Max Pro Fitness. Then we also gave out an award to best manufacturing technology, which went to Flash Steelworks. Actually an L2 alum, Gary Cola, that runs that company and developed a next generation method for making high strength steel that you would see in automotive bodies and that type of thing. We also recognized a company for best clean tech technology, Rhombus Energy, who actually designs, engineers, and manufactures high voltage, fast charging electric vehicle chargers. And we also had a couple companies win kind of best products and best pivot in the COVID-19, dynamic of what we went through. And one's a company, Tigris. It's developing an all natural disinfectant material and making that right here in Madison Heights. And then Qualified 3D, a company that pivoted to start developing masks. And then we also had our first ever Lifetime Achievement Award, and we recognized one of our own LTU alum and an expert in residence, David Bolognino. He helps a lot of our clients with prototyping and product design. And he used to run General Motors prototyping center for a number of years. So we're really lucky to have someone like that on our team to help our individual clients be successful in recognizing their dream and getting their product to market.
Yeah, I'm working on an article for the LTU Engineering College magazine and the Alumni magazine on some of your clients, and I've had the opportunity to interview a few of them now, and the stories of these folks are just amazing. The one you mentioned, the steel company, Flash Bainite, they have developed a new novel heat treating process that makes steel anywhere from 20 to 60% stronger than conventional heat treated steel. Yet it's also more ductile, which means it's easier to bend and shape and form. And that's got applications in everything from automotive to military for, for armor plating and,
Yep.
impact protection, that kind of thing. Really interesting company. I talked just this morning with the folks at Rhombus Energy, who are involved in high voltage power electronics. And they're basically on the road to putting electric vehicle charging stations that'll charge your car in an hour or two at places like grocery stores, so you can get a full recharge or top off your electrons. I guess not top off the tank, but top off your battery. While you're shopping at Meijer or Walmart or something like that. And that's a company that actually started out here with a couple of Ford engineers who were involved in a very early electric car project for Ford back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And, all of these companies are taking advantage of being on LTU's campus, and they're using the professors, they're using the students. I've made some introductions, I'm sure you have as well. But it's been a real interesting experience to see how this sort of, lets these companies blossom. And that sort of leads me into my next question, which you're also involved in something called the Industry 4.0 Accelerator, which is something that's unique nationwide as far as we know. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's really a global accelerator. It's in partnership with Automation Alley and Lean Rocket Lab. The three of us manage this accelerator. And what we're really doing, Matt, is we're casting a net globally to find the best Industry 4.0 technology companies. And we're inviting them to be a part of this accelerator. And one of the appealing offers is connecting these companies to existing manufacturers here in the state. So we're seeing applications from all over the world, 230 applications so far in under a year from 30 different countries, quite a bit from Europe, as you would imagine, Germany, Israel. But we're seeing applications in Brazil and Asia and obviously all over the US, Silicon Valley, and even quite a bit in our home state of Michigan. And but the appeal is really connecting them to all of our corporate partners that are part of the program and their Industry 4.0 tech scouts, their advanced manufacturing R&D people. And so we have Magna, Whirlpool, Denso, Bosch, Rexroth, Lear, Faurecia, a lot of large manufacturers that we can pipeline these technology companies into, as well as small to medium-sized manufacturers and system integrators that can test out their technology, demonstrate it. And it's really an economic development strategy of ours, is to help attract these companies to set up operations in Michigan. But at the same time, by implementing their technologies, you're making the Michigan manufacturers more efficient, right? You're improving their throughput, you're reducing their downtime in the machinery, you're using less labor per unit out the door. And these are all things that obviously we're going to make our Michigan manufacturers more globally competitive in the future at the same time.
Let's talk a little bit how you're managing that in a pandemic situation. And when you say, well, of course, this isn't going to last forever, we hope. But I mean, how are you managing it now? Are people virtually coming into the center? Are they physically coming in? How are you dealing with that?
Yeah, we've been able to keep this center open the whole time. In fact, during the pandemic, we activated our 3D printers and prototyping tools to make face shields that we donated to assisted living centers. But we also still house some meetings sparingly and under the strictest protocols, of course, of safety. But a lot of our work is really virtual, right? I mean, virtual meetings, even the connections we make with the I4O tech companies to these manufacturers are done via web meeting. It has, to your point though, Mike, been difficult to get, like, let's say, demonstrations done in a manufacturing plant during this time. However, you'd be surprised. We had over a dozen pilots and demos conducted between I4O tech companies and our Michigan manufacturing partners during the pandemic. So, yeah.
So you're also involved now with a new state program called Next Cycle Michigan. Supports recycling in the state. Tell us a little bit about that program and what it offers and what your involvement is.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's actually funded by the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, or what's known as EAGLE. And it involves an organization out of Ann Arbor called RRS, Recycling Resource Systems, as well as Centrepolis. And together, what we're doing is putting together essentially an accelerator for recycling, right? So trying to help companies that have technologies for recycling, where they take waste materials that would be normally go to a landfill, and they have ideas on how to convert those materials to value-added products. So examples of that can be anything from, waste from a food processing center and then converting it into that material into organic fertilizer, as an example. We're also working on a program called Roads, where we're looking for the best ideas to take waste materials like glass, rubber, shingles, and convert them into suitable construction materials for roads and other means. So that is a program that has a multi-year commitment and a lot of funding to help both shovel-ready projects, projects as simple as, taking waste that's currently go to landfill and now composting it, to more technology-based programs like I was mentioning. And we have the ability, Matt, to utilize some of our LTU faculty that are experts in this area. We have one of the best, as you know, civil engineering and construction testing labs in the world here. So we hope to be able to put those to use to help support innovators that come through the program.
All right, we got about 2 minutes left. So what can we cover in 2 minutes?
Yeah. So the other thing we're launching that's of interest is what we're calling a C3 accelerator. It'll be launching at the end of this month. It's really focused on clean tech, climate tech, and circular economy ventures. And just like an Industry 4.0, we're going to cast net globally to try to find the best companies, bring them to Michigan to test out their technologies and commercialize with local Michigan partners. We have funding from several sources, from EAGLE, from MEDC, and from the Department of Energy to help support this. And obviously, this is an area that we all care a great deal about and are in a very, important position to try to help bring some of these new technologies to market.
Okay, so if people want access to the Centrepolis Accelerator, where do they go online and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we, you can go on our website, centrepolisaccelerator.com, and or you can go through Lawrence Tech University in order to connect directly with the accelerator. And some of our programs like Next Cycle Michigan have their own websites. And if anyone's interested, just reach out to us directly and we'll put you in touch with the programs and the services. And especially if anybody out there has ideas for new technologies in this space, glad to see if we can help bring that idea to reality.
Additional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life, but LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.